So, hello everyone. Welcome to Insurance Books, and this is actually our first podcast that will be doing about insurance and specifically in Thailand. And this one I think is really useful for all of the expats out there who live here. And I'm Yanin. I've been working in insurance business for about 3 to 4 years now. So we basically do all kinds of insurance. Auto insurance, car insurance, drone insurance, health insurance, pet insurance. So basically everything but life insurance. And today I'm here with my dear friend, Paul. Just tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm American. I'm Paul, and I was born and raised in Garland, Texas, and I moved to Asia in 2016, late 2016. And so I've been living here since over 5 years. And I'm no insurance guy. I'm just a regular old dude who just happens to own a car and know the experience between the differences between the insurance in Thailand versus America.
Nice. Yeah. Can you tell us a little bit about how different about insurance in Thai and back home, basically about this car insurance?
Well, the first time I bought a car here, and I was looking at comprehensive insurance that does the total coverage, but then I also wanted to know the rules, like what is the minimum limit or how many insurances do I need, what is the rule, and then the agent comes and tells me, as long as you have a Por-ror-bor, even if you don't have the other insurances, it's fine.
You'll be fine, yeah.
Yeah, it's what they said. So it's not mandatory. So you get pulled over by a cop and you show the Por-ror-bor, he will not even bother to ask you for the rest of the insurance. Well, that's not how it works back in Texas.
Yes.
So back in Texas, how it happens is you need to have a basic insurance. And if you don't have it, then you'll get a ticket for it. That's how it is. But although to this rule, there's an exception with some places like Arizona, not all states. Now, that's the difference, having a federal law and a state law. They conflict each other. But there are some states which it's totally fine if you don't have an insurance. Like Arizona is one of them, as long as you have a $40,000 certificate of deposit done to the state treasury.
So it means that in some states, you don't really need to have insurance, and it's not illegal. You just need to put your deposit money, and in case of emergency or accident, the police or the state will take your money to pay for the damage, sort of it.
Okay, so it's not just putting a deposit. It is when you have an accident, then before processing it further, that is the time you have to put the $40,000. So if you don't have an accident, it's okay.
Okay.
So that's how, but it's not for all states. As far as I know, there's only 1 or 2 places: Arizona, New Hampshire.
So that's like a state law, not a federal law.
Kind of, yeah. I don't know much about it, but.
Is you from Texas, eh?
Yeah. So. So one of the basic things is there are many types of auto insurance back home, but there are 4 major ones which people regularly take if it's a used vehicle. Number 1 is the liability insurance. Basically, a liability insurance is when there is an accident and it covers the other person's vehicle, that is property, and his medical expenses, including that downtime that they're not working because of the accident.
That's great. So it's like third party liability insurance.
Yeah, it's a liability insurance that covers the other person. So doctor's visit, whatever it is, but it doesn't necessarily cover the driver. Do you understand? If I'm the cause of the accident, it will cover the person who's the victim.
Not you.
Not me. Not necessarily me.
You get $0 on that.
Well, it depends. Again, this is on some states. Sometimes you get basic coverage. Sometimes you get no coverage at all.
Okay.
So that is one type. That is the liability insurance.
So mainly focus on the victim.
On the victim, if it is proven that it's your fault. And the other type is comprehensive. This word can be a little misleading. People think that it covers everything. Doesn't necessarily. So it will only cover the repair or replacement of a vehicle that is damaged from something other than an accident with another vehicle. So let's say you're driving and
you crash into a tree, a wall, or some sort of
stuff? It covers you at that point in time. So you not necessarily a tree or a pole, but America is place where you'll have deer running across the road and you just wreck it. So it covers all of that. And so it even covers, so if your car is totaled, you get a new car, but you definitely have to pay a certain amount, but you get a replacement. So that is covered in comprehensive. So first one was liability, second one was comprehensive, and the third one is PIP. That is personal injury protection. So here it's called a no-fault coverage. So it doesn't matter who was the cause of accident. You will be taken care of. So maybe it's my fault, maybe it's another person's fault. My insurance PIP will cover me entirely. Talk about treatment, therapy, break time, downtime, whatever it is. It does cover 100%. And the last most important is collision coverage. It's simple, like you get into a crash, two vehicles are involved, you need to fix both of them or whatever it is. So what happens usually in America is they don't just buy one insurance. They pair two. So it's either liability and PIP together. Mostly people do liability and PIP for used cars. So for used cars, it's necessary because it will cover the other person, cover me, but will not cover my vehicle. So, and for newer cars, it's okay to have three. That is liability, comprehensive,
and PIP.
That's the most common. Or people can switch between liability and collision.
So this is like you can customize your insurance plan.
Yeah. Geico is the insurance provider in America. They give you a combo set.
Yeah.
They can give you a combo at a certain value. So you can have 4 of these parameters in one insurance. It's possible. But it's okay to have any one of those. So, yeah, at least you need one, but people can go with a combo, or people can just buy independent. So I had Geico back home because I had this old Ford truck. But what is more common is Allstate and Nationwide. These are having cheaper premium. Geico has a little higher premium, but then the processing and everything is far quicker. In my experience, I'm not saying it's better than others, but just save some time.
I thought that Geico is supposed to be a little bit cheaper because it's say 15 minutes on website and then save you
not necessarily.
15%
So
in your
if you break down the bills, okay, it's not necessarily cheaper. There are some instances where Geico is expensive. There are other instances where Geico is cheaper.
So it depends on the plan.
Depends on the combo of the plan, or you take multiple plans.
And it's like your personal information affect on the premium. Like I can say
not
that
necessarily.
Oh, really?
This is something that confused me at first. So in Europe, I've heard this guy on YouTube. His name is Missander Flyer, and he said that where you live, your age, and your previous claims.
Yes.
That is a deciding factor to see if you get lower premium or no. This is not necessarily the case. But what is a major determining factor is if you've had a crash, like 2 or 3 crash, and then you have made claims, then obviously when you go for, even if it's a new provider, you get a higher premium because you're prone.
It's in your history.
Yeah.
Sort of that.
Yeah. But it doesn't really matter with for age. Yeah, I understand. Like 17 to 2025, the premium is a little higher. Post that, it's but you're looking at what $20-$30 difference.
Yeah, so it's not really difference much. So it's
and the place doesn't matter. Place where you live, it doesn't matter because all the insurance plans are determined by area codes or zones, or that you will call it. So it's fixed.
So it gives you, so it kind of, can I say is that it gives you a little discount in your premium, but it's not like a big, huge discount that you would be like considered to give all of your history to the insurance.
Well, the thing about history is it's all in the database. It doesn't matter.
So it's in the central database. So
it doesn't matter. So if I'm taking Allstate for this year, Geico for next year, Allstate, I just have 2 claims, and then I decide not to go with them because it's charging me higher premium. and then I go to Geico, they will know the number of claims that I've.
Yeah, so that's great, because here in Thailand we can kind of go into incognito mode, because if you switch to the new provider, all of your data will be gone.
So there's no history.
Yeah, you get a new card.
Oh.
So as you see, so in USA, in the States, there are there's this set of insurance plan that you can pick up and sort of mixing and combo it for yourself to suit your need. For
Correct.
the third party, for yourself, for the comprehensive sort of the stuff that happened to your car, or just to get a collision plan. That's all. But here in Thailand, at first let me say it's like this. There are two major types of auto or vehicle insurance or car insurance, whatever you say it. Two major types in Thailand. The one we call compulsory, which is Por-ror-bor, the one you say, and another one we call it voluntary.
Okay.
So it means that whether you get it or not, it's not illegal. It's up to you. It's up to your choice. But at least everyone in Thailand that has a car, you need to get the compulsory insurance, the Por-ror-bor.
But yeah, the Por-ror-bor you have to renew every year, like your tax.
Yes.
So is it the same renewal, or you have to do one Por-ror-bor, one tax? What do you have to do with that?
It's different thing.
Both are different.
So here's the thing. People are a bit confusing about this, because Por-ror-bor or compulsory insurance, or someone might say it CTPL, which is compulsory third-party liability insurance. This one, you get it from an insurer.
Okay.
Like Tupia, Riya, Bangkok Insurance, whatever you name it. But the tax registration for your vehicle, this one is actually from the government.
Got it.
It's from the land of transport. That the tax you need to pay for using the road.
Got it. Okay.
But the compulsory insurance, this one, the law says you need to have it, because in case you're driving a car on the road, and maybe it's just your lucky day, you hit a car to someone, and then he or she might get an injury or die. And just in case you don't have any money on yourself to pay for the damage, for the death of that person. So this Por-ror-bor or compulsory insurance will become in hand to pay them at least something to get taken care of.
But the value of
expenses.
Por-ror-bor is like what, 500 baht or 1,000 baht a year?
It's different on the types of the car. If you got a car and it's just a regular car, 4 wheels cars, and also truck with 4 doors, it's only about 650 baht.
Yeah, so you see, this is the big difference. 650 baht an entire year. That's not even $10.
Yes.
So back in America, but you can't really have that cheap. So we can go for monthly plans. Like we can split up an entire year's quote in 12 times. So you just have to pay $100, a month. You can get away with it. But Por-ror-bor, you can't. Or you don't have to do it because it's such a small amount. Like, if we had this option back home, like you pay $10 and you get covered for your basic liabilities, people will be jumping at it.
And you know what? The government decided to do this because they want everyone, every single one in the country who own a car, to get this at least Por-ror-bor, because it can,
mitigate a lot of costs.
And also just pay for the medical expense for the victim, and give the amount of money to the victim family. And actually, compulsory insurance will pay up to 500,000 baht for the victim in case that person died from the car accident.
What if he's disabled?
Disabled, it depends on how much disabled are you.
Let's say you lose a leg.
You lose a leg, you get around, I don't remember exactly the amount, but it would probably be around 300,000 for some sort of that
And
stuff.
this is the mandatory one that you need to get it.
Yeah, and for medical expense, the victim will get, I think it's 80,000 baht maximum from the Por-ror-bor, the compulsory insurance. And this one is unlike your your liability insurance from the States, because
It covers everything.
this one covers victim, basically death and bodily injury.
Correct.
And also it will cover you too, but only medical expense. And if you're guilty, you'll get about 50,000 baht for medical expense, only from Por-ror-bor, that you paid 650 baht a year.
Okay.
This will get. But for some people who thinks that, the coverage of 80,000 baht for medical expense is too low, because you can get in a serious injury for the car crash too. So some people, actually most of the people, will buy voluntary insurance too.
Yeah, I have Por-ror-bor and a first class. So first class covers the damage valued at the car, and it also covers me. How much was it? I forgot. I think it's 250,000 baht as medical treatment fee.
Yes, 200,000.
Yeah, around that.
And it can be from 100,000 to up to 500,000. Depends on the provider you get.
Or also on the category that you pick, right?
Yes.
So what about second class? So, like in Thailand, this is a different thing. This is a category of value. First class, second class, third class, whatever it is. But back in America, it's not the category of value. It's a standard, like PIP, liability insurance, comprehensive. It's strictly what it is. Yeah. And the value depends on the package you go for. But in Thailand, the first class itself is a package. Second class itself is a package. Third class itself is a package. So you can go for Por-ror-bor, buy a second class, which covers you less.
Yes.
Okay, so back in America, you just go for the premium that covers you more, and you pay more.
Yeah, so more premium, more coverage.
Yes.
But this one, it comes in package.
Correct.
Which one would you like to pair with the Por-ror-bor? So here, at first in Thailand, we only have got like first class insurance, which is basically a comprehensive insurance. And
so does the first class cover, let's say for example, I crash into someone, so it's my fault. I rear end someone. Does it cover my car and the other guy's car?
Yes.
Both our cars.
Yes.
And does it cover my medical as well as the other guy's medical? So basically, it's much better here then. It covers my car, the other one insurance plan will cover my car, other person's car, my medical expenses, his medical expenses. And then an additional whatever amount from Por-ror-bor.
Yes.
Well, that's better.
It's basically like that. So it's like the first class insurance here is like a super insurance that is the ideal insurance that everyone here in Thailand would like to have. But back then, in Thailand, we only got like first class insurance and third class insurance. So you can see the difference. Like the first class is the first class. At the start, no.
Okay.
From the start, no. So this is like the first class insurance basically mean you. The subject, it covers you. And the third class mean the third person. The third class insurance, third person, it only covers third person. Here it goes like this. Back then and still now. This is like I would say, the evolution of car insurance in Thailand. So first we've got first class and third class. First class will covers your medical expense, the damage of your car, collisions and other than collisions too, fire and theft, sort of that. And it also covers the medical expense of the victim, and also it will replace and repair the victim's car too. And also,
so if the victim's car is a total damage, the guy gets a total replacement. Yes. Is it applicable for new car or used car that are 10 years old? How is that car valued?
The insurer will check the market price.
Okay.
That's all. And also, the first class insurance will willing to pay for the other property damage of the third person too. Say if you crash into a wall of somebody's houses, the insurance will pay you.
That happened to your car once, right?
I crashed the damn whole wall, you know.
Yeah, you wrecked a new wall.
And also, here's the thing in Thailand. If you injured someone, whether he or she is alive or dead, or, lose an arm or a leg, you will be captured and going to jail. So first class insurance will provide you bail bond too. So in case the cops comes and get you and need you to pay the fine about 100,000 baht, the first class insurance will cover that for you.
Well, it covers in America too.
Oh yeah, okay. That's good.
So what I understand is first class insurance in Thailand is equal to liability, comprehensive, and plus PIP and collision all together,
yes.
jammed in one.
Yes.
And what is an average cost of first class insurance? For example, my car is a 2017 Honda City.
So I can say you right away, just like this. It depends on insurer or the provider you go to, but for first class insurance in Thailand, they will divide this plan into section 2. The first type of the first class insurance is you'll get your car fixed or replaced at the authorized dealers of that car brand.
Correct.
And the other one is that you just go to a normal regular garage.
Okay.
Garage, that's all. And for the premium of the one that you will go to, the authorized dealer, for eco car, for just the city car, it costs around 20,000 to 25,000 baht.
Okay, so I am paying 18,000 and some change from Tipaya.
That's good.
That's a good deal, but I never had a claim. So probably that's the reason it's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah, and also, but if you choose to go to the garage, this premium will be a little bit lower, and it can cost you about 12,000 to 15,000. That's all. And here's the first class insurance. But what about the third class insurance that we also have too? Third class, just as its name say,
covers the third party.
Yeah, cover the third party, cover the victim. So the third class insurance will pay for the replacement or the repair of the victim car or vehicle or
and
the
medical
property,
expenses,
and also the medical expense. But the third class insurance will also provide you a medical expense for yourself in case you got into a car accident or some sort of this stuff.
But there's a limit for it.
Yeah. But also higher than Por-ror-bor. So third class is
so I can take claim at the same time from both Por-ror-bor and the third party, so I can get money from both.
It works like this.
Okay.
Por-ror-bor, the compulsory insurance will pay first. And if the coverage of Por-ror-bor is not enough,
the balance is covered by the third party.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay, that's how it works.
So the third party insurance, the third class insurance in Thailand is basically a Por-ror-bor with higher coverage, and also offer to pay for the victim's car too, which Por-ror-bor doesn't. Por-ror-bor only covers for medical expense.
Correct.
Yes. And since the amount of people in Thailand, the number of population growing, and then more needs to get a car and some sort of that stuff. So here's the evolution of it. Because see, third class insurance, you can pay only less than 2,000 baht a year and you get all of that coverage. But if you want to go up to the first class insurance, you pay about 20,000. That's a huge gap.
It's 10 times more, correct.
So all these insurers just come up with a plan like, we
need a middle ground.
Yes.
Correct.
And here's come, we call it second class insurance.
When was this introduced? Any idea? Like 10 years ago? When was it introduced? The second class?
I don't know. I've got
Maybe
no
10
idea.
years ago. Okay.
I don't really know. But here's come the second class. The second class is nothing like most of the folks today hear about 2+ car, 3+ class insurance. No, it's a different one.
Okay.
This is basically a second class. So second class, is, it's offer you a little bit more of coverage than the third class. Sorry. Which the second class will also repair and replace your car too, but only for, it's not collisions, it's not comprehensive for second class, but the insurance will pay you if your car just caught up in fire or was stolen. So fire and theft.
Only fire and theft.
Yes.
So it doesn't cover collision.
No, it's the third class with fire and theft. But then people wouldn't be really happy. People weren't happy about this second class insurance because it's nonsense.
I wouldn't be too, so.
Yeah, it's nonsense because, like, what are the odds that your car got stolen or got caught in fire? So the insurers come up with new plans, which is 2+ and 3+. And the plus mean it covers your car too in case you crash your car, so collisions come. The plus is for collision coverage.
Okay.
So the 2+ and 3+, the premium for this two class of insurance. 2+ is about 7,000 baht a year, and 3+ is around 6,000 baht a year. And what's the difference between these two? So the 2+ insurance is basically you could say the second widest range from the wider range coverage from the first class insurance. So basically it's almost everything like first class insurance, but
not at high value. Not at a high value.
No.
For example, a car is worth 1 million.
Oh, you can get the sum insurance of that too if your insurer let you. But the difference here is this. The first class insurance is basically a comprehensive insurance. It covers your car when you crash into a car, a vehicle, or into a wall, or into a dog, or some other stuff. Mm-hmm. But 2+ class will cover you if you're in a collision with other cars or other vehicles only. So if you crash to a wall,
it doesn't
to
cover.
A dog,
it doesn't. Okay, so it's only basically 2+ is a collision insurance like we have back home. So it's the fourth category collision coverage.
Yes.
So yeah.
So not other than collision, it doesn't cover. But this 2+ class insurance, I can say that it suits for people who are an experienced driver.
So there is prerequisites that you need to have your driver's license for a certain amount of years?
It's only mean like if you seek for a lower premium in car insurance, you don't need to go to first class because it's expensive. You can choose yourself a 2+ class because if you are an experienced driver, you know that you wouldn't crash your car or scratch your car with some stupid walls. You get by. You know your car, you know how to drive, so you pay 50% less for the premium.
So, like, when we're talking about that, let's say, what is the ideal insurance for an ideal situation? When it comes to new cars, it's ideally good to go for first class. But what if the car is like 5 to 10 years old? Does it make sense to go for a first class or,
It depends on you. It depends on how you drive or whatever you want. You can, if your car is a little bit old, let's say 5 years or older, you can switch your plan to first class insurance with, but choose to go to a local garage. Because the premium will be lower. Or you choose to go to 2+ or 3+. And 3+ is actually cheaper than 2+. But what the difference between 2+ and 3+ is that 2+ covers collisions, medical expense for you and the third party, car damage of the third party, and also cover you fire and theft too. But 3+ is all about that 2+ can be, but there is no fire and theft.
So that is fine. I mean, 3+ doesn't have fire and theft is a good deal. So, talking about new cars and new insurances now, in America it's very common to lease a car. So we have the thing from the dealership the moment you drive off, okay? It doesn't mean that you have comprehensive insurance. It doesn't mean that you have 100% collision coverage, whatever. But we have something called as gap insurance.
Oh, we do have it here in Thailand too, but it's not very popular. That's all.
The gap. So ideally, what it is when a new car leaves the showroom, the value just drops.
Yes.
But after that, so for example, it's 1 million baht you spend for a car, and then you drive off right outside.
Yeah, here in Thailand, it will minus 20% off.
Exactly.
So your car will be worth only
800,000. So the gap insurance, what it does is you roll off the showroom and you ride on the road, you total damage the car. You don't get 80%, you get full 100% or a replacement. Yes. We have that. So until we can, so it's limited for a certain amount of time. Maybe it will be 10 days, 5 days, 30 days.
Oh, really? In Thailand, you can buy your gap insurance for up to 5 years.
So you don't lose the value at all?
Year by year.
Oh, that's interesting.
Because the voluntary insurance in Thailand, especially the first class, will cover you from the first year of the car 80% of what your car's worth. But the second year and the following years, it will cover about 90% of what your car's worth in the market. But if you're buying gap insurance, it will cover you, extend your...
To the full value.
To the full value of what it is in the market at that moment. But you can buy gap insurance for 5 years. But unfortunately, I think it's a little sad that this gap insurance is not really popular in Thailand. And actually, it's not that it will provide you the 100% full coverage of your car.
But here's the deal. When we take a gap insurance, the showroom itself gives it to us. Mm-hmm. We don't necessarily have to spend it. Yeah, there's a certain amount of premium or surcharge they charge, like let's say $20, $30, whatever it is, but it is a combo offering from the dealership.
Yeah, and I think it's actually great, because if you get gap insurance, all these finance agency will maybe, it will go easier on you and to give you a lease or an installment plan, because they get the full coverage if you crashed your car, if something bad happened to your car, total damage, total loss, that's all. It's benefit from that. So it's actually great for expats and Thais out there who are considering to get a new car with an installment plan. And this one, if you buy the gap insurance, it will be easier for you, for the finance agency to give you the plan.
Okay, one of the most common questions, especially for residents or expats living in Phuket, they like to drive across and go to Malaysia. So one of them told me that only Por-ror-bor is not allowed to cross over, to drive through the border, go to Malaysia. You need to have a first-class insurance. So the Por-ror-bor does not cover the expenses if there is an accident in another country.
It's only in Thai kingdom.
Exactly, but the first class does, but at a lower level.
Not necessary. So here's the thing. The first class will cover you outside the area of Thai kingdom if you contact the insurer and say that, okay, I'm driving out of the border to Malaysia, to Cambodia, to Laos this weekend. It covers you for a certain distance. I don't remember the number exactly, but like if you go to Malaysia, I believe it's this number, 50 kilometers from Thai border, it will cover you.
So is there an option
coverage?
Is there an option called add-on? For example, I'm just going out for 2 weeks. Give me an add-on international travel insurance. Do they have an option like that in Thailand?
I'm not sure, but for 2 weeks, if it's not like, oh, I'm going all of the Vietnam.
Okay.
No, if you go like 100 kilometers or 50 kilometers, it will cover you for the rest of the year. It's not just 2 weeks or 3 weeks. If you extend your coverage from Thai border, it will cover you for the rest of the year. But if you want to drive around all the country, the foreign country, I think it would be better for you to get an insurance from that country.
But how does it make sense? Because the blue book or the green book, the registration, the permanent address is in Thailand, and we are going on a temporary trip to another country like Laos or Malaysia. What proof of address or contact?
Well,
they should have something here. Maybe I don't know about it.
Maybe I don't know, because I never really came across for that.
Okay.
For that one, but I know that you can extend your coverage from Thailand to the border within the limited kilometers from the Thai border. That's all. And also, there's one class of insurance that is, I would say, is an upcoming insurance plan, and it's rather popular right now. We call it micro insurance. So micro insurance, as the name is, micro means tiny, small, whatever, some sort of this stuff. It's actually the insurance plan for low budget, for people who have low budget. Like in Thailand, we also have first class insurance, but you don't need to pay 20,000 baht a year. You only need to pay 5,000 baht a year only, but you get all the coverages that the first class insurance offer, but with much lower premium, like the one that Tupia had right now. Is basically a first class insurance with limited mileage. So it covers you from collisions, comprehensive. It covers you and the third party, medical expense, bail, all of it, everything, you name it, but only in about 5,000 baht to 7,000 baht, that's all. But here's the thing, you cannot drive more than 5,000 kilometers a year.
Oh, okay. So 5,000 kilometers from the day it's insured, right?
Yes.
So let's say I have 20,000 kilometers already, and then 5,000 kilometers more. So ideally, this is a good insurance for people who have multiple vehicles.
Yes, or someone who just drive from home into the office and travel less than 10 kilometers or
20
kilometers a day.
Okay, so here, is it only 5,000, or there are options at 10,000 also? So, or it depends on which company is insuring.
No, you can choose. You can choose to go for 5,000 if you calculate that you drive every day, but it's not more than 10 to 15 kilometers a day. You can go to 5,000. But if you drive more than that, but not more than about, let's say, 20 kilometers a day, you can go for a 10,000 kilometers a year plan.
Okay, and 10,000 kilometers is the same premium or different premium? It's slightly
the
higher.
The premium will be almost double.
But, okay, so microinsurance is essentially a first-class comprehensive insurance, but it's limited on the mileage of your car.
Yes.
So, actually speaking, this is the one that suits me.
Yeah, because
I don't drive the car as much.
You've got bikes and cars and stuff.
I mostly take the bikes, and cars is usually only when I do long distance trips, and that is probably 700 kilometer one-way stretch, and to and fro that's 1,400 kilometers, and I put on an average less than 7,000 kilometers in a car.
Yeah.
So for a person like me, I think the microinsurance would make more sense because I'm primarily dependent on motorcycle as my mode of transport.
And here's the good thing on this microinsurance, we call it limited mileage, because if you bought a plan of 5,000 kilometers, but this year you only drove for about, let's say, 4,000 kilometers. And if next year you renew your policy of 5,000 kilometers, you get
additional 1,000
yes.
kilometers. Okay, that's nice.
Yes.
So ideally, it depends on if your vehicle is going to be used as much as you think. And yeah, so I'm going to go for this one next time because I don't use the car as much. It's only during the rains or, yeah.
So this one is, it offers you the same amount of sum insured as the first class insurance.
Correct.
So if the insurance insure your car, let's say about 700,000 baht, this micro insurance will give you the same amount, 700,000 baht. So the same coverage, but only the medical expense will be a little less. But it's fine, I guess, because you.
But it covers the other person too, right? Okay.
Yes. Because
so what if it becomes 5,001 if you're 1 or 2 kilometers more than so you lose it. You're done. You're done. Okay.
But here's the good thing, because since this plan has been on for about 2 years now, so there's some kind of development behind it. So just like you say, like let's say you plan to drive about 5,000 kilometers this year. You get this plan 5,000 kilometers, but accidentally you need to meet your parents in Chiang Mai or wherever, and the mile is a little bit more than you expected, than you planned. You can buy an additional mile.
Like an add-on.
Yeah, like an additional kilometers to the policy. You've got, like, you can choose from 1,000 kilometer, 2,000 kilometer, 3,000 and 4,000 kilometer more. And you paid it. It's different.
It will be expensive.
No,
obviously.
not really. Not really. It's less than 2 baht per kilometers. Oh, say overall.
So
but
1,000 kilometers. Okay, got it. I understand. So when we talk about total coverage on an expat perspective, would I believe that if you have a new car, like based on what you explained, it's better to stick with first class insurance for the first.
If you've got a new car and you drive it every day, I think it's best for you to go for first class insurance. But if you want something more convenient, so you can choose to go to the authorized dealer. But if you want to save the money and you're not really a fancy type of people, not meaning in a bad way, I mean you know that if you're confident in the quality of repairing or replacing at the local garage, you can go to the garage too, because
so then we take
premium,
a 3+, yeah? 3+ or a 2+.
No, just you can get the first class too, but choose to go to the local garage.
Yeah. Now, and it's very common culture, if you buy a brand new car from the dealership, they give you...
for free.
For free the first year or 2 years, or I don't know.
It depends on the deal you've got, but most of the time, the dealer will will give away to you
for
1 year.
For 1 year.
First class insurance, and it's authorized dealer repair.
So I'm going to break it down to situations, okay? So let's say a foreigner needs a daily driver and there's no cap on the number of miles that is going to be driven in, and is buying a new car. Then for the first 5 years, it is ideal to get first class insurance. But here's the deal. Now, we're in Asia. Most foreigners here, car is not their primary vehicle. We understand that motorcycle is more common. So if you're getting a brand new car and you also have 2 scooters at home, so for the first year, take the free insurance that you get from what do you call it?
Dealer.
From the dealership, and you use it only. You use the car only for weekend trips or whatever it is. And if you're running less than 10,000 kilometers a year, instead of buying for the first class insurance for the remaining 4 years, just buy the micro insurance.
So instead of spending 2,000 baht or more on the first class insurance, you can just go for the micro insurance.
Correct.
Save you a lot of money,
So if it's not a primary vehicle and it's only a weekend or touring or getaway car or whatever it is, then after the first year of first class insurance, it's better to stick around with micro insurance for the rest of the time.
Yeah, you can buy the insurance. I mean, you can buy the first class insurance or micro insurance, which is the first class too, up to 10 years of your car.
Oh, what if I'm buying a 10-year-old used car? Is micro insurance applicable?
Yeah.
I can.
Yes, but if it goes to the year of 11th, that's not going to apply.
No. For example, let's take for 2010 Honda Accord. Right now, the value is somewhere around 250,000.
The insurance will say that's an 11 years old car. You need to buy 2011 car, year of 2011.
Yeah, but if I buy the 2010 car, the
You
microinsurance will not. Okay, so the age of the car should be less than 10 years old for you to get a microinsurance. If it's more than 10 years old, it's not going to happen.
You need to switch to 2+ or 3+.
Okay, I understood. So this is applicable only for a car that is less than 10 years old. This begs the question, there are a lot of foreign drivers or expat drivers who are passionate about older cars like the 1972 TA22. Is there any kind of insurance available for classic cars?
That's, I would say that's not a regular case. If you want your car that value that much to be insured, you need to contact to the insurance by yourself.
And they'll make a new plan for you if they can.
Yes.
Got it.
So the insurer will decide whether they want to insure it or not. That's
the difference back in America. It doesn't matter how old your car is. Mm-hmm. Okay? You can insure the car. Now, it's a common trend, like 60s and 70s car actually have higher value than a brand new car. For example, you take a 1969 Mustang and you compare it with a 2010 Mustang. The 1969 Mustang is 6 times more than the 2010. So they go as far as $200,000, $150,000.
Okay.
So there is insurance available for all these type of vehicles. There is another insurance back in America called as collector's insurance. Mm-hmm. So there are some people, who are passionate about collecting vintage cars, new cars.
It's good because they would never really drive the car.
Yeah.
They just put it on a show. But
again, the cars are old.
Yes.
They're nearly 50, 60 years old. So they have a cap coverage. For example, if you see Jay Leno, you can...
I know the guy.
Jay Leno. So he has nearly 300 cars. But he's covered under an umbrella scheme called as collector's car insurance. Does Thailand have anything close to similar?
Not in the market, but you can contact the insurer and ask if they want to insure you.
This comes under custom plans.
Yeah.
So there are many different factors and parameters for them to decide.
Yes. So in Thailand, it works like this. If your car is less than 10 years old, you can go for first-class insurance. But if your car is less than 20 years old, you can choose whether it's 2+ or 3+ class insurance. But if your car is older than 20 years old, you might need to go for third-class insurance.
Okay.
And here's the thing. For people who have many cars, let's say 3 cars or more, you can get discount on that on the premium too. Because
if I'm buying it from the same provider. Yeah?
Yes.
If I'm buying all the 3 plans for the 3 cars from Tipaya, then I will get a discount.
3 cars under the same name from the same provider, you get the discount. So we've got many discounts for the premium in Thailand. And the first one, we call it no claim bonus or no claim discount, which just means that if you insured your car with the same provider every year, and the provider was, they know all your history, all your database, that if you crash your car once or twice, they know everything. So if you never really crash your car that year, they will give you 10% discount.
Okay. I understand. Now, I have one question, like collision coverage in America. So, for example, it will cover the entire car, even if I'm not the person driving the car. Mm-hmm. It will cover. In collision coverage, for example, I have a 2015 Honda Accord, and I'm not driving it. My friend wants to borrow the car, and his name is not on the plan, but still it covers him and the accident. Or there's another option where you can, for a brief period, maybe 1 week, 2 weeks, 10 days, 1 month, 2 months, I can add his name or her name to the plan for this stipulated amount of time. But is an arrangement available in Thailand? If I want to give my car for a friend to drive for a weekend, and if he crashes, but the car is not in his name, will he be covered as long as he has a driver's license?
we've got something similar to that too.
Okay.
So basically, I think I need to say this first. There's so many so many ways to get a discount on insurance in Thailand.
Yeah.
So first is no claim bonus, and the second one is group discount, and the third one is you put on deductible. To your policy, and the last one is you put on the named driver. So here's the thing: if you've got a car and you get first class insurance, you didn't written any name on the policy.
Okay.
It means that anyone can drive your car, whether he's or she related to you or not, as long as
they have
that
a
guy
driver's license.
has a driver license. And it doesn't matter if your driver license is expired or still
no.
effective. Yeah, you can get the coverage.
So it only matters if it is a named insurance.
Yes, if you've got a named insurance,
Then
you'll
it's-
get discount on your premium. But it means that it's only you and the one who we can name up to 2 names in the policy. But it means that, let's say, we bought a car together, you
Yeah.
and me, and we want to spend less money on the premium. So here goes. I put your name and I put my name in the policy. I get a discount by the age. The discount will calculate respectively due to the youngest person.
Okay.
The youngest will get less discount, and the older one will get more discount. If you're 50, you get might be 3,000 baht off, and if you're 20 or 30 something, you maybe get 1,000 baht off. That's all. But it means that as long as the person who has the name written on in the policy will be fine, whether he or she is fault or no fault, you'll be fine. You can call an insurance and get a claim. That's easy, simple. But if you and I, let someone borrow our car, and that one doesn't have any name written on the policy, and if he or she crashed the car, here's the thing: if he's not guilty, he can get by. The insurance will cover full coverage, nothing to pay, just like that, easy like that. But
If he's guilty.
yes, it means that in case you want the insurance to pay for the victim, you need to pay 2,000 baht to the insurer to get the process going on. But if you also need the insurance to fix your car too, you need to pay
Additional more.
6,000 baht more. So it's sum up to 8,000 baht. If someone who doesn't have any name,
So
his
it's
name
ideally
written
better
on-
to not have a named insurance. So,
unless this car you drive it all alone all by yourself every time. It's all right.
I do lend a car sometimes, but yeah. So ideally, what's better is
But actually, you can change the name too. They can change the name in the policy, but it will be a little difficult to do
it's
it
a
because
paperwork, yeah.
the insurer will charge you for more premium on the policy. Depends on.
So normal insurance, I
age of-
can go without the named
Yes.
driver, yeah? So that means anyone who drives the car and whatever happens. So, yeah, I think that's a better option.
Yeah.
No named driver is a better option.
Unless, like my car, there's only me who drives the car, so I'll be fine. I named my name on the policy to get a discount.
That covers a lot. But it totally makes sense when I see the cost of a first class insurance. Most foreigners will go for it. Why? Because it's $600 for a year in Thailand. That's literally nothing. And then when I check about microinsurance car is ideally suitable for people who drive less than 10,000 kilometers and the car is less than 10 years old.
Yes.
So in microinsurance, you can choose between two. One is 5,000 and 10,000 kilometer limit. So even if I take the lower end, that is 4,900 baht, that is $145 a year. So it's a no-brainer if it's younger than 10-year-old. And after that, we can switch on to third or 3 plus. Yeah, so the conclusion is microinsurance is ideal for people who drive less than 5,000 or 10,000. There are 2 plans for that. And the car is less than 10 years old. And it covers the same coverage that first class insurance covers. So the premium is less. It's about $145. Somewhere around the ballpark. It can go more than that.
Yeah.
And the first class insurance does not have a limit on the number of mileage, but it costs 5 times more. And second class is very similar to the first class, but it does not cover fire and theft.
No, the 2 plus class.
Okay.
The 2 plus class is very similar to the first class.
Okay.
It covers fire and theft, but it doesn't offer you the coverage of comprehensive. It only covers you collision only.
Only collision.
You need to crash your car with some other vehicle or some other car.
So not wall, not if you run into a pole, it doesn't cover that. So 2 plus will cover only if the incident involves another or more than one vehicle, but it does not involve if you're parking into your garage and you ram into the pillar, it doesn't cover you.
No.
For that, you need the first class.
But 3 plus class insurance is very similar to the 2 plus class insurance, but
does not cover fire and theft.
Yes.
Correct. Okay. So that's the difference. So first class covers everything. Second class does not cover the part that it's your mistake and you ram into a wall.
So other than collisions with the vehicle, no.
Yeah, other than collisions with vehicle, it doesn't cover the others. And 3 plus insurance is very similar to 2 plus insurance, but it does not cover fire and theft.
Yes.
That means it does not cover if you do not collide with another car, but you collide into the wall, you still don't get paid.
Yeah.
And
third class insurance.
Third class insurance
is basically Por-ror-bor with offer to pay for the victim's car.
Correct. So Por-ror-bor is the basic, and third class insurance just gives you an additional coverage from
the third party.
The difference. It covers the difference in the amount. Okay.
Yes.
And the second class insurance is least
it's not
popular. Nobody really has it. So.
Yes.
And so, but what I learned from today's stuff is microinsurance for a person like me.
It's very good.
Who has multiple bikes, and it's my main mode of transport, and I drive the car only during the rain, or if I'm taking the kids to the dog park or whatever, and or trips. So ideally, I don't clock 10,000 kilometers a year. Last year itself, it was 6,000. So considering that, for a person like me who has other vehicle other than the car, and you have a lot of bikes. I go on bike everywhere. 7-Eleven. You want to go to work, you go to work with that. So that's always a bike or a scooter.
Yeah.
So that's something new for me, and I don't have to worry about paying 18,000 a year.
So for the foreigners out there, if you've got a car in Thailand,
and you got a bike.
Yeah, you need to get Por-ror-bor, the compulsory one.
It's mandatory. There's no other way around it.
And you need to pay the tax. At the land of transportation department, and the voluntary insurance, you can get it, or you don't need to have it. It's up to your choice. The cops will not catch you and deport you to your mother country. It's all fine. You need to have Por-ror-bor and pay the tax. That's all.
Okay. So there's one thing I want to tell people who move to Thailand and are on a very tight budget, cannot afford a new car, but absolutely need a car. And you can go for a 10 or 15-year-old car and go with a 3 plus insurance. It's not going to be as expensive because you won't be eligible for microinsurance anyway.
It's about 6,000 baht.
Yeah, it's about 6,000 bahts a year, so that is going to be less than $160, if I'm not wrong. 178 or $180 a year. So you can just go for an old but reliable Honda or a Toyota car, and you can have the minimum coverage, which still covers property damage, which still covers medical, but it does not cover if you don't crash
into a car or other vehicle.
Yeah, so that's the only place it doesn't cover. And
fire and theft.
Yeah, that's so there are a lot of people who come here on a budget, so they need to go cheaper.
Yeah.
Like I went super cheap the first year I came here, if you remember.
Yeah.
I had this old KLX.
That was a character.
I know. So it was. Thank you so much, Janine, for all this information.
So I think we're pretty much done for today.
Yeah.
And this is our, the first episode of Insurance Books. If anyone have any questions or
queries,
comments, and we'll try to do it on the next episode. And
okay. Do you have any email or an interface or a chat interface where people can type in the questions to you?
Yeah, you can go to our YouTube channel.
What is the YouTube channel?
Purplins. Purple as purple in colors and ins as
so
the initial
it's
for
PURPLEINS.
Yes.
And
just
that's
don't ask
YouTube.
me where the name come from. So
Yes.
Just leave it like that,
Yeah, you can ask for Janine. Her name is Janine, or Pond, whatever. So she will definitely. You can leave your comments. You can leave your questions in the comments, and we will try to cover it on the next podcast.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much for watching.
Yeah, thank you so much for